Here we go. We are back again with another video. Ladies and gents, boys and girls, welcome back. We're back to another build video today. As always, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. We have another Magden build, Magic Warden. You could be mad, but I can't help it. I love Magic Warden. I look like a little karate bull right now. I don't know, like a little samurai. No, not a samurai. I'm an idiot. A monk. A monk is the word I'm looking for. But I'm looking fly on the Magden. So it's a build that I love. It has a throwback set. It has a lot of sets that I like on this build. It's different. It's cool. I've gotten multiple messages and saying it's absolutely cracked. So as always, thank you for your support. Let's get it. All right, character screen. So we're chilling at 22,000 magic before we were fully buffed. We're chilling at 35,000 health before we were fully buffed. 13,000 stamina, 1,400 mag recovery, 1,000 stam recovery, 3,800 spell damage unbuffed. We are at, let's see, sorry. We are at 28% crit, not too shabby. We're at 6,000 pen unbuffed. We are at, how much resistance? We're at 32, 29, 30, and 27. This is solid. This is literally like a really nice sweet spot because on all my builds, I try to get 30k and I got pretty much 30k here. So like, I'm big chilling with the resistances. It feels good. All right, so in terms of fully buff stats, I think we end up around, what is it, 41k health, something like that, 41k. The magic ends up at around, I want to say 24k. So that's really, really nice as well. Maybe like 24,500, I think. So we get a good amount of max stats on this build. And then we get like 15,500 stamina, so that's good. Our recovery is 1,400 on paper. Now if we pop a potion just like that, boom, we're at 1,800. On top of that, we have a set on that's giving us, if I do the math correctly, I want to say it's about 500 recovery. But it also gives other stuff on top of it. So I'll explain in a minute. But big fan of the set. It is not Wretched Vitality, so no, it is not. It is a different set that I like. Yeah, so I'll let you know in a second. It's just a set that's different. If you want to use something different and be a cooler person because Wretched Vitality is lame and corny and too meta, you came to the right place. All right, so anyways, the stats are great. We get a lot of spell damage, and we get a lot of penetration after we get our major and minor breach. So that's really nice as well. We are always chilling at 16% crit damage. And then you get another 10% on top of that when you proc minor brittle. So don't sleep on the build. It hits kind of different. You get like 26% crit damage, so that is phenomenal. All right, so let's talk about food. We have on Jewels of Misrule. We have on the Mage. We have on the Vampire Stage 3. Now, if you don't want to use the Mage, that's your business. I don't really care. Use pen, use spell damage, use recovery, use the Mage, use resistances, use literally whatever you want. I don't care. Have fun testing that out. You are not set in whatever. Like, as always, my builds are just whatever you feel like using, go and use. I mean, I don't care. There's no, you have to use this or you're going to suck at the game. Never been that way. Go use what you want to use. But I like the Mage for now for more being able to spam stuff. All right, so let's just get into the gear. So yeah, on the front bar, we are using the Master Ice Staff. Now, the Master Ice Staff is completely meta. I mean, let's be honest here. I feel like the Master Ice Staff was made specifically for Warden, like for real. It was made for Warden to just clap people. So we're using Sharpened on it. I've gone back and forth between Sharpened and Charged, even Infused. Charged is okay. But the thing is with Charged, yes, it's great to apply a status effect, but we're applying a status effect anyways on this build, no matter what, because Destructive Touch, I'm sorry, applies a status effect regardless. So you don't need the Charge to apply Chilled more often because you apply Chill every time you use the skill, so it doesn't really matter. So Sharpen's nice to get that extra pen. You do a lot more damage that way. I always use a Frost Glyph just because I'm a Warden. It makes me feel better about what I use. Doesn't matter. You can use Poison, Disease, whatever. I use Frost. So, but it reduces the cost of Destructive Touch by 10% and increases your weapon and spell damage by 600. So you get a lot of spell damage. So you get 600 on top of this. And I believe once I'm done and it's all said and done, I get over 5k. I get 5,200 spell damage when it's all said and done. So we get 600 from that. So that puts us up to 4,400. And then there's another skill we're using that buffs our spell damage by over 400. So that's a good thing. And then we use our back bar with the Berserker Glyph. And then we're sitting at over 5k. So 5k is a lot. So again, like the damage is there on this build. You get a lot of damage. So you will get over 5k. I will explain the combo. Alright, so on the back bar, drum roll please. Da-da-da-da. We're using Desert Rose. Alright, so Desert Rose is a throwback set. If you're a newbie to ESO, you're one of them new kids on the block, you probably don't even know what Desert Rose is, you uncultured losers, okay? Desert Rose is that set. Alright, Desert Rose was my favorite set for like 5 years, like no joke. Until all these OP insane sets came out with the new updates recently in the past, like what, 6 months or a year. I'm telling you, this was my set, bro. This was my set. Alright, it's light armor, which is nice because you can use it on the waist, the jewelry, the feet, and then weapons. And then it gives you armor, it gives you health, and it gives you magic. So it gives you a nice combo. A light armor set that gives you armor is always, always, always so nice because you get the light armor benefits like penetration and recovery. But then you also get armor, so it's like you're not even losing out on not having heavy. So it's really, really nice. And then we get health, which boosts our polar wind. And we get magic on the back bar. So when you take damage, you have a 25% chance to restore 1,942 magic. Now let's round up to 2,000 for the sake of it, right? Let's just say 2,000. 25% chance. Dude, you're taking damage all the time. Dots, light attacks, spams. Like, you're taking the amount of dots that go around today, 25% is like all the time. You might as well be. All right, so every 4 seconds. Now let's break this down just a little bit. Wretched Vitality, I forget the exact amount of recovery it gives. It's something in the ballpark of 600. I don't know. Yeah. Now, is it really worse than this set? No. Desert Rose is about maybe a slightly bit worse or about the same. Or, I mean, it has different bonuses to the 3 and 4 piece, 2, 3, 4 piece. So, like, that's cool. I like the armor. But in reality, it doesn't. Whatever. So, let's say 2,000 for the sake of it. Every 4 seconds, right? So how much does recovery happen? Let's break that down. Recovery happens every 2 seconds, right? So if you divide that by 2, let's say this happened every 2 seconds, right? That's 1,000 every 2 seconds, right? That's 1,000 recovery. Literally 1,000 recovery. If you break it down, because you're getting 2,000 every 4 seconds, just cut it in half. You're getting 1,000 every 2 seconds. You're getting 500 every second, right? So in my eyes, I think it's actually better. Because this set procs so much. It procs so much. Like, it procs instantly. Every 4 seconds, boom, 2,000. Every 4 seconds, boom, 2,000. The sustain on this set, I'm telling you, people are sleeping on it. Like, in my opinion, I low-key, secretly, don't tell anyone, I think it's better than Wretched Vitality. That's just how I feel. Whatever. The 2,000 magic every 2 seconds. Or 1,000 magic every 2 seconds, essentially. I love it. So, again, you don't have to use this. That's your business, but I really, really like this set. So we're using Powered for the extra healing because we already have 30k resistance. I'm not too pressed about getting the defending on it. I mean, Powered is nice. Like, I'm hitting like 15k polar wins non-crit. Like, that is crazy. So that's up to you. I use Powered and Berserker. You can use Infused. You can use Defending. Decisive is even good on this build for a certain reason. I will tell you why in a minute. But Decisive is good too. So we're using one piece of Balor just for the weapon and spell damage. I don't care what you use here. Again, this is another flex spot. Again, use whatever you feel like, whatever feels good. All right, so Balor gives weapon and spell damage. I have a triglyph, so I use that. Whatever. You could use Malabeth for extra health for your polar wind. You could use Nunatak for armor. You could use Valken Scoria for penetration. I don't care. Again, that is totally up to you, but that's just what I use. All right, so go ahead and use whatever you want. I use heavy though. All right, so on the body, we are using Shulk Exoskeleton. If you do not know anything about this set, I'm telling you, this set is a banger on Warden. I promise. You get a bunch of alt, and you get a bunch of damage. What else do you want? And then on top of it, Warden always benefits from a line of health, which they get. You get health, you get damage, you get crit, and then you get more damage again. Right, so it's really, really nice. And then the other 5 pieces that you get minor heroism at all times, which is 1 alt every 5 seconds. All right, so you're getting 2 alt every 3 seconds. I'm telling you, I literally spam my alts. Like, it is so good. All right, minor heroism is such a slept-on ability. It is so good, and that is why if you use Decisive on your resto staff, when you flip to the back bar, that percentage is essentially buffed by 50. Right, because if you're getting alt about half the time again, right, you're getting it like 50% more than you would. So you can get like, you're like getting 1.5 alt every 1.5 seconds. So really, really, really good. I'm telling you, Amazing, amazing, amazing. This set is great. It's damage, it's sustain, because it gives you your alt. You use your alt more, you have your Northern Storm spell damage up, you're using more Northern Storm, you're using more Rest of Waltz, you're just pumping out the damage and healing. Shulk is amazing. I love it. So good. So we're using a shoulder of Shulk. Forget the blue. Ignore it. We're using a sash of Desert Rose. We're using a hand of Desert Rose. We're using feet or legs and feet of Shulk. So reality is that you want reinforced on the heavy pieces like legs, chest, maybe even helmet, maybe even shoulders, and then you want to go impen on the other ones. But again, it's not perfect right now, so I will eventually get it to where I want it to be. But this build, I'm telling you, you don't have to do anything for it. There's no special proc conditions. You just play the game, and your guy's a beast. I'm telling you. All right, so we're using Desert Rose here. You want Bloodthirsty or you want Infused. Here we're using Death Dealer's Feet. Death Dealer's Feet smacks. All right, so Death Dealer's Feet is great. That max stats for Warden have such a high impact because you get the minor toughness for the health. And then you get a ton of magic. So you end up with like almost 25k. And then your stamina is a lot higher, so you can spam Vigor. Death Dealer's Feet is amazing. Now, if you don't want to use Death Dealer's Feet, or maybe you don't have Death Dealer's Feet, Ring of Majesty is another great option. What does Ring of Majesty give you? Well, it's going to give you more resistance, right? So you're going to end up with a little bit more base spell damage. So you're going to be at 4,300 base, and then you're going to have more resistances on top of that. So again, that is totally preference. I think Markin is also very good. So that is whatever you feel comfortable with. Go ahead and use Markin if you feel it's necessary. I like Death Dealers for the sustain. It just helps me stay alive more. I like getting 40k health, so I use this. But yeah, that's my two choices. And then lastly, we have a Shulk Ring again. All right, so that is what we're running. I believe we were running 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 heavy, 2 light. So in an ideal world, I'd love to get medium in here somehow, but that didn't really work out. So we're running with the 5-2 setup. All right, so skills. On the front bar, we're using the Blue Betty. It gives you a lot of recovery. It gives you brutality and sorcery. It's a cleanse, and it gives you crit damage. Deep Fissure is a big hitting skill that you must spam on people. It is annoying sometimes to hit, but great skill nonetheless. Gives you your major or minor breach, so gives you roughly 9,000 pen, so that's nice. Bird of Prey is a must-have skill. Major Expedition, immunity to snares, major berserk, and then on top of it, you are getting crit damage from this skill. If you don't know what that means, you have the advanced species passive that gives you a lot of crit damage for having skills. All right, so here we are using Cliff Racer. You're like, yo, idiot, why are you using Cliff Racer? You're allowed to ask me that. That's fine. I can be an idiot. But Screaming Cliff Racer buffs our damage by a ridiculous amount. How so? Well, let's go see. All right. So we're sitting at 3,800. We use one Cliff Racer. We are now at 4,300. Then what happens if you attack again? 4,300. All right, so you get double buffs. All right, so you see the two buffs at the bottom that were both Cliff Racers? I don't want to go attack anything here, but if you attack an enemy, let me go get one more. I'm sorry. All right, so you'll see two. Look at my buffs above my skills, and just look. All right, so we got 2 buffs of Screaming Cliff Racer. It's counting down right now. All right, so what is that doing for us? It is giving us 400 spell damage. All right, so it's giving us a ton of spell damage. Why is that? Well, it does 8k, so it's like a spammable, just like any other skill. But if you're more than 7 meters away, it's setting them off balance for 7 seconds. Now, after dealing damage, you increase your weapon and spell damage by 100, which quadruples after damaging off-balance enemies. So if you just attack someone with your skill, you set them off balance, but you're going to attack them again anyway, so you're just getting a free 400 spell damage. Like, you get off balance, you get a quick light attack or heavy attack, and you stun. So you're getting a free 400 spell damage, you're getting an off balance, and then you're going to be able to heavy attack and stun them. And then on top of it, you're getting 4% crit damage. You are getting so much out of this skill. I used to use this skill as a spammable, and I realized it sucks as a spammable. I just use it as a buff. Like, I use it as a 400 spell damage buff, and I use it as my CC. And it's insane. It's a range CC that you really just have to heavy attack for. And it does a decent amount of damage if you use a Cliff Racer into a light attack, into a Frost Reach. And then you just do a medium weave. If you don't know what a medium weave is, that's a light attack. That's a heavy attack. A medium weave is like you hold the button a little bit, like that. That's a medium weave. All right. But medium weave, you can stun people. And then last we're using Frost Reach. I can't talk. To pair with our Frost Staff. Very, very good. It's obviously good to use it. It applies chilled. It does a bunch of damage. It does a dot. It's our spammable. And then we have Northern Storm. Northern Storm does a lot of damage, as you know. It slows people. It gives you spell damage, and it gives you major protection. So like I said, like you're getting a lot of spell damage because we were at 53, and then you get 600 from your spammable, and then on top of that, you are getting another 300 from your alt. Right, so I'll show you what we get up to. All right, so that, and then we use our alt. So we're sitting at 5,500. Now, if you were using marking or another ring of damage, all right, you'd be sitting at over almost 6K. So lots of damage. On the back bar, we're using Ice Fortress. I'm not going to say anything about this skill. It's a must. We're using Resolving Vigor for our little hottie. All right, it gives you minor resolve too. Polar Wind, which a beefy, juicy, sexy little heal. All right, a lot of healing there. Then we're using Crystallized Slab, which is low-key the best skill in the game. Just saying. Basically nullifies any range build. It stuns them. It does damage. It's just OP. I mean, I have a 60k damage shield. Like, come on, bro. And then lastly, we are using Lotus Blossom. It's going to heal people for every light attack. It's going to heal people for every heavy attack. It's going to give you your crit bonus. It's just a great skill in my opinion. And then lastly, we're using Life Giver, which is probably the best healing ultimate in the whole game. 10k a second for 5 seconds is ridiculous. So, insane build in my humble opinion. Then champion points or whatever. I mean, we're using Master at Arms, Biting Aura, Ironclad, Untamed Aggression. These are totally preference, by the way. Celerity or Celerity, whatever. Pain's Refuge, Sustained by Suffering, and Peace of Mind. All right, so that's what we're using. But yeah, I hope you appreciate the build. I'm going to post gameplay of this build very, very soon. I'm not going to include it in this video because I don't really want to make the video too long. I'd rather just make it 2 separate videos, and to be honest with you, I'll get probably more views on the gameplay itself if I have it in a separate video because no one wants to sit here for the whole time and then watch more gameplay. They can just go watch another video for gameplay if they want to see it. So, as always, I appreciate the support. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Please comment and let me know what you think down below. I'm tired of you creeps watching my videos, liking the video, and then not telling me how you feel about it. Tell me if you like it. I need to know if I suck or not. Please, if I suck, just tell me I suck. Alright? Thank you guys. Peace out. Have a good night. And I look forward to posting more often.